Oh, what is good, Mad Gang? Day 4 of the bootcamp, and I can honestly say it's been such a journey. Before we get into anything else, what is a good daily bootcamp video without a nice piece of rant at the beginning? So, today's a very, very special day. Today is the official second birthday of my baby girl, and gonna be real with you, man. It's a very emotional day for me today, and it's just the thought of having a healthy baby girl and just being able to do what I love with beautiful kids, and then just celebrating her life, man, is such an amazing thing. And that's why I asked you guys yesterday is, who are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? And my kids and my wife is 1000% the reason why I'm doing this, man. To be honest, all of the social media things, bro, it's all fun and games. And I mean, trading has seriously changed my life. Whether you want to believe if trading is working or not, that's up to you. I'm not going to be the one that convinces you, bro. That's your decision to make. I mean, the time for convincing is done. It's already out there. We've got thousands of testimonials, people's lives we changed, thousands of results that I had myself. I mean, at the end of the day, it's got to come down to you. So yeah, back to my baby girl, man. It's just 2 years on this planet Earth, 365 days times 2 around this beautiful world. She's just the light that shines in my life, man. And honestly, every single hour that I put in with work, every single concept that I learned, every single loss that I had before she was here, every single lesson I had, it all built up into giving her, well, all my kids and my wife, just a life that they deserve. So if you're watching this today and you can find your why, you can find your purpose, this is 1000% worth it. If you've already found your purpose, if you've already found your why, then like I said, man, it's 1000% your purpose. Now, bro to bro, and if you're a lady, you're also my bro, no disrespect, everybody's my bro. We're one big happy family. You gotta find your purpose, as I said, but the term flip that damn switch is a term that it's not just a nice made up term just to sound cool or whatnot. It's literally you gotta make that decision in your mind, bro. Because let's say you're working for corporate, or let's say you're a student, you'll go and study 6 years, 7 years, you'll get a good degree, and your parents might be saying, hey, listen, this is your backup. That's, excuse my French once again, but it's bullshit. Because in this day and age, anything is possible. If you have a nice job in corporate, a nice secure job, you don't know when your next time is going to be in line to be retrenched. You don't have that safety, you don't have that security, even though they might say you do. Anything can happen with companies, If you have a degree and you might think it's a backup, my brother, my sister, I want to be honest with you, it's really not. I hate to break it with you. I'm being honest with you. I'm trying to help you here. I'm not trying to sound like a douche, so excuse me if I am. I'm trying to help you. So it all comes down to you need to flip that switch. You need to make that decision in your mind, bro. Nobody else is going to make it for you. I know people say that they're there for you. They're only there to catch you if you fall, if they're really there for you. But nobody's going to be there for you during the fall. I'm talking about inside of your head. Nobody's going to be there to make those final decisions for you. It's up to you. So you need to decide to stay up late to work. You need to decide what risk you're putting on the table. What's the risk for? You need to decide who you're doing this for, and you need to decide ultimately what you're doing. So yeah, man, just gotta be real with you. I mean, I'm not here to sound like a know-it-all or whatnot. I'm just trying to tell you guys that I'm still very young. I'm still a very young dude, but I've walked in shoes that most 50-year-olds or 60-year-olds haven't walked in. And I'm not saying that with an ego. I'm saying that because I went through something. I went through a lot of things. And hopefully I can get my message out there so a lot of you don't bump your head the same way I did. But more importantly, the message I'm trying to convey here is to try and inspire, to show you guys what's possible with trading. But even more important than that, I'm trying to show you the mistakes I made so you guys don't make that. Now back into the charts. Yesterday we talked about the high and the lows, and I honestly hope that you guys went ahead and looked at the false break reversal. But today we're going to talk about my second favorite pattern, and I don't mean to be that guy and tell you that you're doing it wrong, but you've been doing it wrong. So reading structure is not that as difficult as people say it is. I mean, marking the high, marking the low, getting Fibonacci, all of that nonsense. You can really just simplify it for yourself at the end of the day. So yeah, bro, sorry to break it to you, but you've been doing it wrong. And that's the number one thing that, I mean, no disrespect, but I constantly sit with a grin on my face when people tell me they've been struggling to read structure. And I'm going to take the liberty on saying it's not really your fault. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything here, but it's not your fault that you're struggling with trading. It's just the amount of information that's out there. You're probably getting information overload, or you're getting the wrong information. Now, I'm not a superhero at all. I might be looking cooler than a lot of the superheroes you see on Marvel. I'm still waiting for the Marvel cast to reach out to me. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you to see things clearer, okay? We don't want the word budget in our life anymore. We don't want the word failure or financial struggles. Those words are words from the past. But how are we going to get there? We're going to get there by MC simplifying things for you. So that's my job here today. Pay attention, kids, because it's time for school. So to read structure is really, really not that difficult. And by introducing these concepts to you, I'm introducing a simpler way to look at structure. Now, we already discussed the false break reversal. I just want to reiterate. Let me get my drawing tool up here. We got our, let's have a look. We got our high and we got our low. Okay, we got the previous week's high and low. Now, a lot of you read structure like this. You're trying to draw support and resistance zones. You're trying to draw support zone here, support zone here, support zone here, and then you're trying to see the reactions off from it. Now, that's not wrong, but I always say this, you need to understand why you're doing certain things. I kind of feel like if you draw support and resistance zones like this, you're only spotting them. You're only drawing the obvious, if I can say it for the lack of better words. You're only identifying them. The real proof comes, or the real pudding comes, when you're actually knowing why they're there and knowing what's going to happen next because of them being there, right? If you only just draw support and resistance zones like every YouTube video out there teaches you, you're just identifying them. Okay, bro, so what now? Right? What's the next step? And that's why a lot of you struggle, because you're creating your own story. You're creating your own narrative. Hey, bro, I saw this YouTube video how to draw support and resistance zones. Okay, what next? You know, and then you add your own things, you add your own terms, you add your own concepts, like, listen, this works, this works, this works. And trading is not that difficult. If you get something right five times out of 10, and you just know how to count your money, you just know how to manage your risk. I mean, the amount of times out of 10 the trades you win really does not matter. What matters is how you manage your risk, how you manage your trades. But at the end of the day, people come up with these narratives based off from a simple concept like support and resistance, that they just completely convince themselves that this is a concept that works, because they're not taught by people who've walked the walk, who've blown accounts, who've tripled accounts, who've passed funded accounts, who've been through the stages of life. They just watch a damn support and resistance video on YouTube. So anyway, we got our support and resistance, we got our structure. That's probably what you've been taught. And then you'll be like, yo, bro, create a new resistance. If it breaks that resistance, I'm going to buy. And then all of a sudden you buy, and then it hits another, let's call it a key area, because you don't know what it is. And then it reverses, then you say, no, Forex is a scam, man. This thing doesn't work. Let me try something else. Let me try a trend line. Then it's going to come back down. Yo, bro, I caught a W yesterday. I'm going to buy a pink Ferrari and put some stupid ass sticker on it. And from now on, I'm just going to label myself as a Forex trader. Okay. Let's put the brakes here. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. I'm just so agitated and frustrated because I see the struggles out there. Okay? I see the struggles that most of you are struggling with. And I don't want to be that guy. But I also see the beauty of trading. I see so many people succeeding after I just help them with one simple thing or just one word of advice. I see it every single day. I mean, yesterday, One of our members literally just bought a brand new car for his family just cause, you know. The day before that, another member passed 1.2 million in funded accounts. It was just changes like this, bro. So stop listening to the basic stuff. But anyway, my rant is over, I promise. So the support and resistance areas that you draw based on trend. Now the next thing, you might be drawing a trend line. Once again, folks, it's not what you do, it's more importantly why you do it, but even further than that, to the degree of understanding why you do it. Okay, why, when? That's very important. So timing is the axis of trading that you always want to understand. You want to understand, why are we using a false break reversal? Why are we using this pattern? Why are we using that tool? So 3 things, and I mean, all of these topics that people teach is crucial and it works, right? But you need to understand when to use them. So we got our support and resistance areas, and at the end of the day, you would not know when to execute. So I kind of feel like it is, your foot is halfway through the door. Now let's draw up a false break reversal pattern that we had from yesterday. We have the market forming, creating a high. Whoops, that's terrible. Creating the high, coming back down, creating the low. Now this is our new week. So a false break reversal is formed because we came back, we broke above, and then we closed inside. That is our false break reversal pattern. Or we might get something like this. The opposite side, we might get respecting the high, coming back down, breaking outside, and then closing back inside. That means on a day 2, it's going to come back up. So now today I want to introduce one of the setups. So remember I said we had 3 setups. False break reversal, and then with 2, our red setup day. I mean, I must confess, I love a red setup day on volatile pairs like the gold, US 30, NASDAQ, maybe sometimes S&P 500, because remember what I said, the market falls harder than it rises, and it's one of the best feelings in the world to catch these setups. And I promise you right now, you probably caught one of these setups without you knowing it. So the key here now is I'm going to show you how to identify it, and the minute you understand how to identify it, it's game over, bro. So have a look at this. We want to have 2 days of rise, and then after that, we want to have a day closing as a sell. Simple and easy as that. What that shows us is, 1, in practical terms, a break of structure. But more importantly, it shows us that the higher time frame trend initiated by aggressive buyers, and then we want to look at the close. Remember what I said in the beginning, you want to look at the open and the close. So the minute it came back down and it closed bearish, you want to look for a continuation move to the downside. So at the very least, you see a reversal at the top. Let's say there's a reversal here at the top, but then the day after that, you see the market closing bearish. What I am forcing you to do, without you knowing it, I'm playing my mind games here, is I'm moving you away from trading reversals, because I know everybody want to catch a reversal, everybody want to catch that sniper entries for the gram. I've been there, but it doesn't put food on the table. What puts food on the table is not you wanting to be right or wrong. What puts food on the table is you managing your trades like an actual grown-up, making your money, withdrawing it, and getting the hell out of there and going to live. So I don't care about your ego right now. I'm not here to please people. I'm here to spit facts, talk about what has helped me, and hopefully some of you actually grasp this and go ahead and use it. So this is the actual reversal right here. What I'm forcing you to do then is to wait for the close right here. We want to wait for the close. And then the day after that, you can take the continuation move. Let me show it to you, folks. So on gold, right, we want to see 1 day of rise, 2 days of rise. Remember, it has to be consecutive. So you need to have 1 day opening and closing higher than the open. The second day needs to open and close higher than that open. If we get an inside day, for example, this is the high and this is the low, and the market stays inside, not breaking or closing above the high or low, that's an inside day. That then counts as nothing. That's fine. You can disregard that. The next day after that, if we come and we close below that low, that is our rate setup day, day 1. So then on a day 2, we want to take a selling position to the downside. That is what I always do. That is what our members do, and I mean, it works like a charm. So if we look for continuation moves on gold, we can see we have a bullish day. Look at the open, and then look at the close, look at the open, and then look at the close. Once again, look at the open, look at the close. Right, so now over here, this is a perfect scenario of when you need to pay attention to the high and to the low. Because, MC, we got a bullish day, then all of a sudden, we got a bearish day. Why did the market not sell off? And then I'm going to revert you back to day 1 and day 2 that I spoke about, the highs and the lows of Asia session and the highs and the lows of the previous day. So I don't want you to go now and say, yo, these concepts doesn't work. Everything needs to form one concept together and it needs to make sense. So at the very least, we saw Asia session being broken down. We can anticipate selling position. For the following day, what happened after this potential rate setup day right here? Because we had 2 days of rise. Then we had a day closing below. So this is our rate setup day, day 1, right? So then on a rate setup day, day 2, we needed to sell off. But what happened with Asia session, folks? We immediately broke it during London session. Immediately broke it, and we disregarded that trade. Even furthermore, we broke above the previous daily high, so that's disregarded. Another thing is we did not break below the low of the previous day, the bullish move from the day that formed before the rate setup day. So, and there's a lot of ways that you can look at this. We even tested, look here, we even tested our equilibrium, and then the market came back down. So there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that you need to put together in order to understand that this is what happens. I look at A and B so that C happens. I look at B and C so that D happens. You need to look at all of these things. And bro, honestly, the reason that you struggle with trading is not your fault. I'm not placing you as a victim here, but the real problem is you put in the work. I can see you grinding. You put in the hours studying. But the problem is you did not study the wrong concepts. It's just that you studied the concepts, but you did not understand when to use them. So bro to bro, if you understand this and you understand when to use these things, you're going to become so damn lethal in these markets that you're going to be unstoppable. Hear me out. Just pay attention and understand that these tools, you need to know when to use them. So rate setup day, we did not close below. Let's carry on. Carry on with the rate setup day, day 1, day 2, day 3 setup. So moving on with the chart, here is another example of a scenario that worked. Let's have a look. We have bullish day right over here. We had a bullish day over here. We had another bullish day right here. And this is good because we can have 2 days of rise. We can have 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, because the market is always trending. Remember what I said, the market is not always in a range. So look for at least 2 days of consecutive rise without the low being broken. Then just wait for your rate setup day, and then wait for the day 2 of a rate setup day. Wait for the confluences, and you're good. So can you already see I'm automatically forcing you not just to stick to reversals. I'm forcing you to go with the continuations. I'm forcing you to wait, and I'm forcing you to be patient and not involving emotions. Because we already know emotions blows accounts. We already know over trading and over leveraging blows accounts. And we already know that reversals, immediately trying to catch reversals with like a big ass stop or maybe even too tight of a stop, that blows account. So I'm already forcing you to do 3 of the things that you and I both know you already did. We know you did that. So I'm trying to force you to stop doing that and then make some money inevitably. That's what I'm trying to do here. So, wait, let's say hi to this little dude. Say hello. My little trading buddy. He's naughty as hell, man. Anyway, get. So we have 3 days of rise. 1, 2, 3. And then look at the open and the close. What do you see? We can see first things first. We can see we broke below the low. Okay. We can see we closed bearish. And then we can see that the Asia session low was broken. So that is very important. We saw 3 things that we needed to see. What happens then in day 2 is a sell-off. But look at this. What I said in the beginning. We have our low and we have our high. Did we break above that? No. So it's an inside day, folks. So we're going to automatically keep that as a, we're going to disregard that. We're going to keep it as a null day. So it's going to be red setup day, day 1, and then we got, this is an inside day, and then this right here, red setup day, day 2. Now look at the beauty of this, okay? We had our initial sell-off during Asia session. We had the London sell-off, and then all of a sudden, we had a New York rise. But look at this. We did not break the high of the previous day where there was an inside day. We merely just tested it. Let me just. So that's already supposed to show you that there was aggressive buying at the bottom. We had pending buy limit orders at the top, which we wanted to tap and then push back down for liquidity. You can already start to hear you thinking like a mature trader. You're starting to think as probabilities adding in your favor. So what happens then? We had red setup day 2, and now we want to see a big sell-off during red setup day 3. Let's be realistic. Let's say you missed a sell-off in red setup day 2, because let's be honest, it wasn't that big of a move. But hindsight is always perfect sight. You would not be able to know that. But you know then, red setup day 2, man, when it comes, it's going to explode. So on a red setup day 2, I don't need you to come and ask me, hey MC, we broke above, because we did not close above. Let's look on a 30-minute. We only merely tested our exhaustion area right here. So going back to the 15-minute, we created our Asia session broke and closed below. What happened during NY session? During NY session, a lot of our members actually caught this. We had a 1, 2, 3 candles pushing back up to the start of NY session. Now this is something we're going to get into detail later. The first hour of the session, especially NY session, creates the setup for the following day. I'm going to teach you 3 things to be able to look out for, to be able to spot moves like this. But then we had our 1 candle, 2 candle. If that's still not convincing, we had a big bearish engulfing candle, the retracement, and then the market pushed back down. So entry would have been somewhere around about here. Market pushing back down, perhaps until the previous daily low if you want, because there's an exhaustion area lying right over here. Or you could have pushed it back down, but let's be realistic. Exhaustion area, take profit, 7.19 risk to reward ratio. That's crazy. And all it did was just literally, all I did was this. Can you see this? Wait, let me show it to you. Can you see this? Ain't that crazy? Let me show it again. That's literally all I did. 10 years of experience, and I literally just did that because the work was from my mind. I literally just waited for what I know works, back tested, collected data on it, proven, trial and tested. That's how easy it is, man. So your homework for today is go and spot red setup days. It's for when you see 2 days of rise, 1 bearish day, and then a setup. Comment down in the comments below the day that you see this, the pair, and then what you did. So if this video does not get at least 100 comments, 100 of you doing your homework, you won't be seeing a bootcamp day 5. I'm doing my part. I need you guys to do your part. We were fired up in the first day. I need you guys to be fired up today as well. Come on, guys. You've got family members relying on you. You've got haters that you need to prove wrong. Let's get back to work.